Men in the past, men today. What in the most egregious case of Photoshop am I looking at right now? This is it. This is the worst Photoshop job. This is the worst case of someone using their Photoshop skills to produce something I have ever seen. Second to none. Jesus Christ. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. And today we are going to be returning once again to r/im14andthisisdeep. There are two kinds of people that end up posted in this subreddit. You know, you've got actual 14-year-olds that think that they're really onto something, and when you were 14 in school, your best mate's older brother, who's like 27, still lives with your parents and is like, no, I could get a job anytime, dude. I just don't need to right now. It's those two kinds of people, you know. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention that YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week, and that's for as low as £1 a month. So if that interests you, please do consider joining, as it genuinely really helps out the channel. Other than that, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? So this was posted by @readthisdeeply. Okay, if you're 33 and she's 25, she's older than you. Few will understand this. This just feels like an excuse for older men to be dating younger women. I've done enough posts on subreddits like Not How Girls Work, Are the Straights Okay? You know, those kinds of subreddits to know that for some reason there are dudes that are obsessed with dating younger women, and this just feels like an excuse for that. Just feels like a way to defend that. She's totally just more mature than me, man. It's not weird that I'm 15 years older than her. It's not weird that I'm 55 and she's 19. She's just more mature than me, you know? She's above other girls at her age. She's more mature. Ugh. Karma. School. Old age home. Is the message here, don't take your kids to school? This feels like this was posted by a guy that didn't pass, right? This was posted by a dropout, right? That like, oh, you made me go to school and I failed because I wasn't very smart. Well, I'm gonna take you to an old age home. You know, it's the law to like take your kids to school in most countries, right? Like, how is it karma? Oh, you got me an education? Well, I'll show you. A father's love is no less than a mother's. This is one of those posts made by guys that like, I'd totally do just as much as my pregnant wife. Like, you don't have to literally carry that child for 9 months. You aren't literally carrying and then birthing a human being. Just because you're thinking about that baby and how much you love it doesn't mean you're putting in the same amount of work as her. You don't get to justify that and be like, well, I'm doing just as much. Like, nah, dude, you're not. Which is better, death or living? This may seem like a question with an obvious answer at first, but it's not, at least in my opinion. First of that, what do we mean by better? God, what do we mean by better? You know, dead, alive? What's really better here? Living a full life where you can improve the lives of others, have enjoyment, have a family or not, have friends, or do literally nothing? I can't figure out what would be better here. But honestly, if you genuinely can't tell what's different, what's better out of, you know, living and not living, there are resources. There are people you can talk to. There are people you can get help from, because that's a legitimate problem, and it does get better. I take it from me as someone who suffers from depression, is medicated for depression, and was very mentally unwell in the past. It gets better. True effort needs no spotlight. Purpose speaks louder than selfies. The clear difference between men and women. Went to the moon, went to the bathroom, took 5 photos. Took 105 photos. So it probably goes without saying that there's a distinct difference between the two, right? First and foremost being that smartphone technology didn't exist during the moon landing. And second piece of information being, why would he need to take 105 selfies on the moon when the entire moon landing was live streamed? That equates to thousands of photos. So, you know, it's not like he went to the moon and only took 5 photos and and was like, this is all humanity needs. The whole event was live streamed. I don't know what the point they're trying to make is here. This isn't a difference between men and women. It's just a difference between eras. Smartphones are available so that anybody can take selfies of themselves whenever they want. If someone is feeling good about themselves and likes how they look, they can take a photo of themselves because they feel good about themselves. It's not like the difference between men and women. Men take selfies too. Same room, different futures. Now there's a lot of labels here, but the things I've got to point out. One, AI slop. You know, not all of these tables even have chairs, but some of the tables that don't have chairs still have chair legs. So that's great, isn't it? Good job, AI. Second of all, the two in the middle that have rich, I've got to believe that that's just the person that made this meme and their mate, you know? They're like, yeah, we're the ones that are gonna get rich out of this class, they say as they furiously make AI memes to post on Facebook. Like, sure, buddy. Sure, man. You know, when like you're in school, you feel like every teacher probably has predictions as to what careers they think all of their students are gonna go down. I remember I went to prom and I dyed my hair blue, and it was the first time I dyed my hair blue. And I remember my French teacher saying, there's always one person that dyes their hair blue, but I didn't think it was gonna be you. I wonder if any of the teachers would have predicted out of everybody that I would have been the YouTuber. Probably not, honestly. If you knew me in secondary school, I was not charismatic. I mean, I'm not even really sure that I am now, but out of 100 dogs, if one dog bites, humans punish all 100. Out of 100 humans, if one human feeds, the dog trusts all 100 again. And that's the difference. I don't get what this means. I'm trying to figure out what this means. I feel like this isn't that deep, but also like if there's a meaning, I can't figure it out. So maybe it is deep, but it's also just it's not right. If one dog bites, that dog's punished. We don't punish every single dog because one dog bit someone. We don't put down every dog because one dog bit someone. In fact, we might not even put down the one dog that bit someone. It takes a couple bites usually before they get put down. But also, if a dog has been abused, it doesn't take just one person feeding that dog once for that dog to trust everyone again. It takes a lot. There's a long process that goes into rehabilitating and rebuilding trust with a dog that's been abused. You see it on, you know, rescue pages, social media, when they have to treat and look after a dog that's been abused. And even once it starts trusting the carer that's looking after it, that doesn't mean that it's just going to trust every human being it encounters. So the meme isn't right. The meme's just not right about anything that it says. Having skills. Having a degree. I mean, I kind of agree. I kind of get the message, but also people getting degrees, they don't just get degrees for the label, right? They get the degrees to acquire the skills. Like going to university and getting a degree is a path to get the skills you're after. There are plenty of skills and jobs you can get without degrees. You can go through apprenticeships or you can self-teach yourself stuff. And that's great. Those career choices, they're great. You know, I don't have a degree in video editing, but here I am. But on the flip side, you know, you do need a degree for some jobs. If you're going into medical science or, you know, you're studying physics or engineering, you're probably not going to get into those careers just being self-taught. You need a method of getting those skills, right? And for the majority of people, going to university and getting a degree is that method. So it's not like these are, you know, mutually exclusive. You can have skills and have a degree. The degree is usually a path to get those skills, not the only one, just a very common one. We stopped checking monsters under our bed when we realized they were inside of us. Whoa, man, that's so deep. The voices in my head, they talk to me, they understand. What other edgy songs are there like that? The voice inside of me, I never let you see. Are there any more? Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. All of those songs. I went through this phase. I went through it, okay? We can mock it because we were there. When I was 14, I listened to Linkin Park. I listened to Papa Roach. I listened to 3 Days Grace. And I listened to a lot of them Nightcore, okay? I can mock these things because I was there. I understand. I posted these kinds of memes, and good God, am I glad that I grew up. So this one, the thing that really annoys me about this isn't even the message. We've we've seen this message before, you know? The message is actually arguably that as a society we have progressed because a woman can like motorbikes and she is happily changing the tire for someone regardless of who they are. This is a good thing. However, the thing that pisses me off about this is that they've just taken a meme that already existed and they've run it through an AI generator and they have just made it like objectively worse. In every single aspect of the meme, it's just worse. The dog is nightmare fuel, the people don't make any sense, the line work is balked. Every single aspect of this meme has been ruined by the fact it's been ran through AI. The original meme existed. It was already a thing and they already possessed that meme to run it through the AI. They just decided, ah man, to post this on my Facebook, I need to ruin the shit out of it. Why? It was already a shit meme, but they've made it worse. Is that a human? No, don't worry, it's a scarecrow. How can you tell? He's not looking at his phone. Oh my god! You get it, guys? The phone bad. Get it? People only use their phones. The phone bad. Oh, phone bad. Although, I do have to say it, as someone who drives, and also when me and Leo moved, cycling is way more accessible. The amount of people, we went to London not long ago for Leo's birthday. I mentioned that in another video. And even there, the amount of people that I have encountered now that don't look where they're going because they're on their phones is genuinely frustrating, okay? I don't give a shit if people are using their phones, but if you're walking through a busy place or you're walking in front of a bike lane or you're crossing a road for the sake of 5 seconds and not dying, just stop looking at your phone. You'll survive, okay? I'm not a phone bad kind of person. I use my phone all the time. I spend way too much time on my phone, but you need to not look at your phone while crossing the road, walking in front of a bike lane, or walking through somewhere that's very, very busy and other people are trying to get past you, because you will cause problems and possibly get injured. I feel like that goes without saying, but like when kids are being taught, you know, look both ways before you cross the road, look, listen, look again. Do we not? I haven't, obviously I don't go to school. I haven't been to school in a long time, so I haven't been taught these things in a long time, but do they not teach kids, look, listen, look again, don't look at your phone? Like that should be the 4th step of that. They really need to state, do not look at your phone when you're crossing the road. Because the amount of times I've had people just step out in front of my car without looking and I've nearly hit them. It's like, goddamn. Corona, stop killing them. But they're killing you. Whoa, guys, coronavirus is actually like a defense mechanism for the Earth. It's just defending the Earth because we're destroying the Earth. That's so deep, you guys. That's so deep. That's why it was made in Catch Her Life, everybody's favorite deep animator. Whoa, dude, that's so deep. Oh god. I mean, there's always that that realization as a teenager that everyone makes where they're like, whoa, you know, viruses, the increase in temperature, like everything that's going on as a result of climate change, earthquakes and tsunamis and stuff, that's like what our bodies do when they're fighting off a virus. What if this is Earth's antivirus and we're the virus on Earth? Whoa, man. Whoa. You know? This was posted to r/shitty tattoos. And you know when I was saying the 2 different types, so the 14-year-olds and the 27-year-olds that act like the 14-year-olds? So this is a tattoo that's like, I cannot believe this is it. This is life. There is no magical 3rd act where I am the star in some fantasy adventure. I won't suddenly gain superpowers and fight cartoonish villains. This is it. This is all it will ever be. 50 more years of quiet, drab misery. Our one shot at consciousness is spent on something so unimaginably boring. My gift of sentience is spent wage slaving, consuming media, messing around with hobbies that will never fill the void, eating, shitting, cleaning, and that is all there is. Yeah, that's life. Yeah, but that's why we have art, right? That's why we have hobbies. You say they'll never fill the void, but like, you just haven't found the right hobbies, or you're not committing to them enough, you know? Don't get me wrong, we live in a dystopian nightmare. Wage slaving sucks. No one enjoys that, but the human race has always existed, just like every other animal, to procreate and survive. There is no greater purpose to life than that. that. It's just that some atoms were trying to find entropy and discovered that a quicker method of finding said entropy is through life, right? That's how life came to be. And that sounds like another, like, I'm 14 and this is deep, like, a kind of quote. And maybe it is, but like, life isn't that deep. Life is just what you make of it, you know? Life came about to eat, sleep, and reproduce, but you don't have to do those things. We gained sentience, we advanced, our brains became too big, and we produced societies. But because of that, you don't have to reproduce. We can survive in ways that we never could before. We can create art that we never could before. And that's a wonderful thing, you know? Music that people produce is amazing. The technology we have just for instruments nowadays is incredible. The methods of producing physical art we have, the paints we have, the tools we have, digital art, you know, that people make with drawing tablets and iPads, and the accessibility to produce art. It's insane. It's truly insane. And then even if you don't feel like producing art, you know, the stories that you can consume through reading, through watching television or movies, or through playing video games, you have the ability to learn any language you want at your fingertips. You have the ability to converse with people thousands of miles away, across the planet. We truly live in an incredible time. If you take the dystopia out of it, because the dystopia won't last forever. I truly believe that. Dystopias can't last forever because they're not sustainable. They will burn out. People will rise up. They can't ever last. And when it doesn't, we will truly be living in an incredible time where you can do anything. Genuinely. And isn't that just like an amazing thing to look forward to? Because I think it is. And the final post. I was music, but you had your ears cut off. This feels like such a self-aggrandizing like way of saying this, right? Because you're saying that you're great and that they just weren't listening. When like, I don't know, it's just so like full of yourself as a method of getting this point across. You could convey the same message in the same deep way, but that doesn't sound like, you know, full of yourself. If you had said, you know, he or she was music, but I had my ears cut off, it changes the meaning so that you're the one that wasn't listening and you're saying that someone else was amazing, but it's the same message, it's the same tone, right? But you're not just congratulating yourself on being great, you know? It would have been better if they had just conveyed it a little bit differently. I don't know. That's just me. But that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now, and it genuinely means so much to me, and it genuinely helps so much. So thank you to everybody that does. Genuinely, thank you so much. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.